Hi, everybody. I'm Erica. I am a travel occupational therapist and I am the owner operator of The List. And today we have Michelle from Pioneer Healthcare, and she is going to give us some recruiter insider info.
Yes, I am.
Yay.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, but before we talk about that, something you said to me yesterday when we were planning to do this video was about schools starting to hire right now for the fall of 2021. Can you tell me what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Every year, schools start reaching out right about now to all the agencies that they like to do business with, and they want to see resumes for SLPs and OTs now. They like to get things or ducks in a row early for next year and planning and how many contractors are in their budget and how many contractors they can hire. They want to get it off their plate. They want to hire. They want to move on. So right now, even though it seems really early for a job that's starting in August, they do want to start talking to everybody now.
Okay. And are they hiring and offering contracts right now, or are they just sort of interviewing?
No, the contracts are going out, offer letters are going out. They want to cement it. It's definitely for hire. I have one school district in California that's already hired 4 SLPs from us, and they definitely just want to cross it off their list, find a good candidate, find the perfect fit, tie them down, and move on. So yep, you can get a job now, which is great because then you know where you're going. You can get an apartment. You're not scrambling, 3 days before school starts. You can really plan because where you're going to be there the whole 9 months. So you want to start planning now.
Yeah, that would be nice. Actually, I feel like to know where you're going 3-4 months out from now and just like have it sort of off your plate and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. And for anyone that thinks that's like stressful to plan this far in ahead, sometimes people don't like to plan this far ahead. That's okay too.
We're travelers.
Yeah. Sometimes we're
travelers, it stresses us out.
Either I'm on assignment already right now. I don't want to think about my next assignment, but it's too early. Also know that in August, September, even after school starts, let's say you're out of the country, or let's say you're going somewhere, or you have a wedding in September, they will still hire people in September and October. So it's never really too late either, especially if you're an SLP school contractor, to wait till after summer. If you are that kind of person, like you just want to wait, you don't have to hurry right now. But my people I've been talking to and tying down right now, they're like relieved, like, okay, I can get an apartment, I know where I'm going, and I know what I'm doing.
Totally. I probably feel differently because I just left my contract a few days ago. So I'm like, oh, the world's wide open to me. What should I do? But if I was on contract, I'd be like, why are you asking me this? Like, back up.
And the nice thing is, as a traveler, when you take a school contract, it's 9 months. It's 9 months of travel pay minus, 2 weeks for Christmas.
No.
So you get 9 months, and people love that.
I know. I've been doing home health for the last 4 years, and I have thought about switching into schools. And for that reason, like, if you're interested in being a traveler, but you've never been a traveler, you're interested in maybe trying it or like dip your toes in, I feel like schools would be a really cool way to do that because you're somewhere for 9 months. Like, you get to have a community, you get to have like a dentist, a doctor, like a grocery store. You get to kind of be settled in one place for sure for at least 9 months. They're probably not going to cut you. I couldn't think of like a really great reason for them to cut you. And to not have to move every 3 months, like, it's expensive to move. Like, yes, we get some reimbursements for, moving expenses and stuff, but you have to throw out all your groceries and pack up all your stuff and put it in somewhere else and go buy new groceries and shampoo and all of your stuff. But when you can just stay somewhere longer, you save so much more money. I always tell people, like, if you can extend, don't be taking weeks off between contracts. Just stay wherever you are as long as you can, if you really want to like save money and be able to take some time off. I think school contracts would be the best.
I agree 100%. I'm always telling people the same thing, sock it away, take that big chunky travel pay, put it in the bank, take your time off between, do a 6-month contract, then take a little bit time off. That way you can really sock some money away and enjoy your vacation and not worry about money. Also for schools too, like, let's say you're doing a 13-week assignment and you've never done home health before. Just when you're learning how to do home health and just when you're learning how to get good at it, oh, my assignment's done. So the nice thing about schools is you're going to get good at it in the first 1 or 2 months if you've never done it before. And then you have another 7 months to practice, get very good at it. and cement yourself and realize, you know, hey, do I want to be a school OT for the rest of my life, or do I want to go back to medical? Do I want to go to home health? 9 months is a really long time to make sure that you really like it, if that's going to be a career change for you. And a lot of times too, people enjoy, like, you know, on a 13-week assignment, if your 13 weeks happens to fall over the holidays, you got to work most likely. They don't want to get a substitute for the substitute, right? So with school, you don't even have to. With schools, you're like, I get every vacation off. I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to find someone to cover my shifts. I just have holiday time off, which is another thing that people have transferred from medical to schools. Adored. Oh my God, I have time off at all the holidays. So that's a good point for school travelers as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm curious, are schools now, because it seems like there's a bigger demand right now, and I don't necessarily know why that is. Do you think it's picked up more recently?
Yeah, when COVID first hit and it became very uncertain in my industry, I mean, I got 30 phone calls a day from my travelers. Do I have a job? Am I going to be fired? What's happening? And with some time and some patience, everybody segued to going home and working from home and seeing the kids from Zoom and you know, changing the industry by keeping their jobs. But with that being said, they still got backlogged. There was still assessments that didn't get done. There were still things that fell behind a little bit. And this year, working from home for most of my California schools, you can't do as much. If the parents are busy or the kids don't show up, it's a little harder. So I think there's a backlog. And I think because of that backlog, schools this year, when everybody's back on campus, they're going to need more OTs and more SLPs than ever before to catch up on what got kind of overlooked because of COVID. Not because nobody wasn't working hard. That's not it. But COVID, it was a monkey wrench, right? Right now, my kid is home all day long. When I'm home or when I'm at work, he's home. And he's downstairs, and if his OT or SLP needs to make an appointment with me, I'm like, oh gosh, when am I going to do that while I'm working all day? So it's hard for the OTs and SLPs to get everything done, and there'll be tons of work next year for OTs and SLPs. And I'm starting to see CODAs come back. CODAs had disappeared a little bit from the school orders.
Ooh, they'll be so happy.
And SLPAs, the speech language pathologists need assistance. So right now, if anybody's open to the orders, you know, they have a dream location, they might have to wait. But if they're open to whatever's on our boards right now, they can get dialed in. Let's see, it's March right now. They could have a job and a contract by April 1st.
That's so exciting. Again, maybe it's just because I'm on contract, but I would love to be like locked down and to know, you know, have a plan for that long. And a question I had, I don't know the answer to this, but are schools now accepting people without school experience, or do you still really kind of need school experience to get those jobs?
They will accept someone. They'll take SLPs anytime, no matter what. If you're willing to transfer and segue from medical into a school environment, yes, because there's a shortage. They're just supply and demand. They'll take an SLP. They'll take someone in their CF year. You're a fine SLP. They'll take you anytime. With OT, they are always going to go at the first hiring round. They're looking for experience. But if you don't have any school experience and you're willing to take all the CEUs on your own time, your own dime, sign up for those $99 courses where you can take as many CEUs as you want. If your cover letter says, hi, as you can see, I've never done pediatrics before, I've never worked in a school, but I've taken how to write an IEP, I've taken how to become a school OT, and you put that on a cover letter, they will hire you. That's okay. But if you give off the vibe like, I guess I'll take a school job, like why not? It's good money for 9 months. They can smell that. You know, they're not going to take that type of traveler. But if they take someone that's like, I truly want to do this, I truly will take the CEUs, they'll take you.
Okay. Ooh, that's such good insider info. Thanks for talking about that. So SLPs, anybody, if you're an SLP, you can pretty much get a school position, but for OTs, you probably should have experience, but if you don't have it, if you just show that you're willing to get that experience and that you're doing your homework, then they'll probably take you. That's good to know.
I just submitted someone today for OT Washington, and he's going to talk to her on Monday. And she's done pediatrics, but she's never worked in a school system. And she already has an interview for Washington because she's willing to go off the beaten track Washington. You know, she's not looking for the big cities and she'll go out into the rural. So she's going to be, and she's happy. And that's why we did it right now, because she met a boy that lives out there. So she wants to be there. She wants to lock in. She wants to know where she's going. And I said, if you take 25, 30, 40 miles out of the quote cool places, I'll be able to get you something. And I think they're going to hire her on Monday. But if she wants to wait till August, when all the seasoned people, you know, are also looking, it's more dangerous. It's a lot safer to look off the beaten path right now.
Okay, that makes sense. So especially if you don't have experience, like get your contract locked in so that it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, good to know.
And speaking of contracts, make sure you read your contracts. If it's my agency, if it's any agency in the world, I'm with Pioneer Healthcare, read your contracts. In 6 years of me doing this, whenever I talk to someone that's had a pretty bad experience and I ask what happened, what went wrong, why are you feeling that way? They didn't read their contract. Something surprised them. Read it. If you're a school OT or an SLP and you're a traveler, let's say you wind up in Alaska and it's the best job you've ever had in your entire life and you want to stay there. Then the next year they say to you, hey, you know, don't be a traveler anymore. Come join our team. And you want to. You just want to live there for the rest of your life. If you travel through my company, you can. We don't charge the school. We don't charge the traveler. We just say we did our job. We found a good fit. We're so happy you're happy. Go for it. But other people will get a surprise of their life and say, wow, the school can't take me because they want to charge $10,000 to my company because it's in the contract with them.
Right.
So then they have to leave the area for one whole year, and then they have to circle back later and get hired as a perm. So make sure you know what you're signing and what you're getting into. And if maybe a perm job is something that's super duper important to you, read what you're signing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know many travelers that are like, oh, I hope I get to go perm. But truly, when I start a contract, I think that, and then after a while, I'm like, oh, it's so easy here and I like everybody and I get kind of used to it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I could just stay here. It might just be easier. I actually had an offer to go perm my very first contract out of grad school. And they were negotiating with my agency. Michelle, it wasn't a $10,000 buyout. It was a $20,000 buyout for them to keep me. And they were like, we're just not going to do this. Like, we'll offer you a job in a year once that obligation expires. So.
And what happened was I was at a PT conference in Denver before the world shut down a couple of years ago. And just right next to us was the school district and the next booth from Alaska. And we started chit-chatting and they said, we don't really like to use agencies anymore if we can help it because of the buyout fee. If we find someone,
right.
Oops, did I freeze up? Am I back? They didn't want to use any more agencies. And they said, because when we find someone that really wants to move to Alaska and be here with us forever, we can't afford the buyout. And then we said, well, it's a good thing you're right next to us. And then we told them we don't have that buyout. And now we have 3 travelers there this year. So to me, it's important to know what your agency is going to do if you find your dream job so you don't get locked out of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. That sounds good. So I was looking at Michelle's SLP and OT school jobs yesterday when we were talking about this. And they're also paying crazy rates right now. I think most of them were over $2,000 a week and they're 9 months long. And there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them right now. So if you are interested in taking a travel healthcare position, especially in schools right now, and you'd like Michelle to be your recruiter, Michelle is actually my current recruiter. I am on contract right now in San Francisco. I'm in Florida right now because I took a 3-week break, but Michelle is my current recruiter right now through Pioneer Healthcare. She's been awesome. We've worked together for over a year. She's been fantastic. She came to me highly recommended. If you are interested in having Michelle be your recruiter, you can click the link in the description and you'll just have to be signed into your list account. It takes 4 seconds to sign up and get an account on the list. And it will give you Michelle's phone number, her email, and you can see all of the hot jobs that she has listed on our website. She manually enters those into the website every single day. So any job that you see on the list has been verified by that recruiter that it is open that very day. And she also has thousands and thousands more jobs that are on the VMS and MSP list. So that's not all of the jobs she has, but it's a ton of them. And those are all of her direct jobs where her agency has a direct relationship with the facility or the school that would be hiring you. So if you're interested in working with Michelle or seeing what jobs she has, just click on her link above in the description here, and you can get a hold of her directly.
Again, you know, we do have a school account manager. Her name is Rachel. She lives in Florida, so she works for Pioneer out of her home office in Florida, and her whole entire job is to call every district that you want to go to. So if you call me up and say, hey, Michelle, I really want to work in Idaho. And I'm like, well, I've never worked with the school in Idaho before, but let us call. And it's simpler than you think. It's just a one phone call, and I say, listen, I have this type of person. They want to work with you. We vetted their references. We looked at their resume. We think you're really going to like them. And they hire you. It's a really easy, you sign my contract, I sign your contract, and we can work with the school district within days. So always call me, even if you don't see something on that list. Tell me you saw the list, and you got my name to the list. We'll get a school district that you want, even if it's not on my list.
That's awesome. So you guys will go out and recruit schools based on our location preferences?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, when I first started at Pioneer, it's been 6 years now. We're a smaller company in San Diego, and at first we only really did California schools and maybe some New Mexico schools, and we didn't really have a ton of school accounts back in the day when we first started. Then someone would call me and say, I wanted to go to Washington, or I want to go to Oregon, and I would just get on the phone, look, go to the Google machine, and I would say, okay, you want this school district, call, ask special education department if they're looking for anyone, and if they said yes, then we would tell them why they should work with Pioneer and what type of people we have and what our bill rates are, and we started just collecting tons of school jobs, and now we have about 20 districts in Washington, we have a couple in Oregon, we have tons in California. Almost everywhere in California needs somebody right now. We broke into Montana last year where we didn't have Montana before, but one of my travelers, she called me and she said, hey, I really want to go to Montana. So she'd been with us in California for 2 seasons, so we got her that job. So we just kind of dot around and just find people jobs where they want to go. But most of the school districts that we work with right now tend to be California, Oregon, Washington, New Mexico, but we'll go anywhere you want. You just tell us.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. I know really most travel healthcare jobs that we have are all along the West Coast. But that's so awesome that you guys will reach out, and I honestly didn't know that. That's awesome that you'll reach out and to a school district that we're interested in. There's something else I wanted to say about Pioneer, actually, and Michelle didn't bring it up, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say the numbers, but I will tell you that so I've been in the industry for almost 5 years now, and I've talked to hundreds of agencies, and of all the agencies that I've ever worked with, Pioneer, Michelle's agency, takes the least percentage out of your paychecks over any other agency that we've worked with. That's just factual math. And I can tell you personally that if you work with Michelle, she will give you the absolute highest dollar amount that you could be getting for that job from anyone. I promise you that. So that's something that I
don't tell my boss.
I know. I was like, can I say what their rate is? I probably shouldn't. I don't want to get us in trouble and get our video pulled down, but it is the lowest.
We do pride ourselves on being very fair. Obviously we're a business. We have to take from the bill rate what we need to survive and pay our bills and pay the lights. And there's a lot of fees associated with having employees. But at the end of the day, my boss has always said, we design our own pay packages. I don't have anyone doing it for me. When I talk to you, I have, permission to design what I want. My boss says, hey, keep people happy. The owner of the company, make them happy, keep them with us. It costs a lot of money to onboard someone. We don't want a one and done. I want someone to stay with us for a long time. So, obviously there's a limit. I can't be ridiculous, but everybody says, why can you pay me that? 2 other companies told me $1,600. You told me $1,800. Why? Is it a bait and switch? What's going on here? And I'm like, no, we just tend to keep less for us, give more to you guys. That's it. That's the math. That's what we do. At least,
that is true, and I'm on the back end, so I can see it, and that is factually true. What she's saying is accurate. Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to talk about in terms of the school jobs, or anything else that we forgot to touch on, Michelle?
I would, I don't know if this is exactly just related to schools, but as a recruiter, sometimes you talk to 15, 16, 17, 18 people a day. And when someone's new to traveling, you need to talk to them for 45 minutes to an hour, or even an hour and a half sometimes, to give them, because it's a big deal to quit a perm job to go traveling. You should know everything about the industry. So I always want to tell people, don't be afraid to text or call or reach out to your recruiter, and don't get your feelings hurt or think, oh, she's a bad recruiter, or he's a bad recruiter, he didn't call me today. Our phones just never stop, especially when you have good
Yeah.
business. So text me on a weekend, text me at 5:45 at night and say, hey, any new jobs come up today? Or hey, can we talk on Saturday about whatever job? I am always available, even on the weekends, because there's just not enough time in a normal business day to do everything you need to do. And I don't mind at all, it's what I do. But don't ever feel like you can't reach out to me and say, hey, other companies said to me, there's a job in Spokane, do you have the same one, and what's your pay package? And then you can see what both of them are before you decide which recruiter you want to submit. So just know that it's always okay to bug your recruiter. And if you have, in Pioneer, we don't have voicemail. You will never ever hear, I've called my recruiter 32 times today and I keep going to their voicemail. We have a human that answers the phone no matter what. So if they'll say, Michelle's on the phone, but what can I help you with? So just know you're never bothering your recruiter. If you call, text, email, you need to stay in their face too, because whoever stays in my face gets the best jobs.
Yeah, and that's true too. I think that that's been a big change over the industry throughout the years, is that previously, 4 years. So when I started, recruiters were just hounding you, and we were like hiding from them. And we honestly, like, there was this culture amongst the travelers that the recruiters were sort of the enemy. That was sort of what I walked into. And I always thought, like, recruiters are taking advantage of me. I can't trust anything they say. And that really hasn't been the truth. And I'm glad that I see it differently now, because I now trust you guys in terms of math. Like, I'm not afraid to ask the bill rate. I'm not afraid to ask what percentage you're keeping. I'm not afraid to go through the whole math of the bill rate with you guys. And honestly, your recruiter's like your best friend on the road. When I was traveling, I had another recruiter before Michelle. And for 2 years, she was the only person that knew where I was ever. And that was like your lifeline on the road, like somebody that like knows what you're going through. I completely lost my train of thought and the point that I was going to make there, but there was one.
about us hounding you guys and like blowing up your phones. And now, not so much, because we're so busy. Like, not in a bad way, it's great to be busy, but so many people want to travel. So many people have discovered travel. The pay packages, especially new grads, are like, oh my God, I haven't worked in 4 months or 4 years. I'm broke. I would love to make $1,700 a week straight away. And so, more people are into the industry. More people call us now.
Right. And I think, that's where I was going with that, is like now the jobs are filling so quickly, especially after COVID. You guys have to understand that. So some quick numbers here. After COVID hit, within a month of COVID being announced in the US, 51% of our travelers were sent home from their jobs. And we went from a list of 525 jobs on average down to 20. That was over a month. That is a huge difference in the volume of jobs. And so what happened with the jobs that were available and became available after that was that they would fill so quickly that recruiters didn't need to be posting them on boards. They didn't have time to post them to the list or put them on any other boards. They would get a phone call and then they would have to fill it right then. So if a traveler called them right after they got that phone call, they would try to put them in and just move forward. And so that really still is sort of the culture that we're in, where now recruiters just have to fill jobs with people. And if you happen to be the one that is present and in their face and showing up, then Michelle's going to remember you and be like, oh yeah, wait, can I put you here? That's how the last contract that I got put on, that's how I wound up there. I applied to a school job. I didn't have school experience. It was super, super last minute anyway. But she said, hey, this job just popped up on the VMS. Can I submit you? Like minutes ago, it had just come into her. She submitted me and I got the job. I had an interview within 2 hours and I got the job that night. So it happens it happens so fast. These jobs are just rolling over that you really have to be reaching out to your recruiters. And if they're not reaching out to you, it's not that they're ignoring you. It used to be that they would call us, but now we need to check in with them and say, hey, now we're looking. And I honestly think it's better that way. I hated when recruiters would call and email me and stalk me all the time. I love now that when I'm ready, I can call the recruiters and see what is there that I'm interested in. So that is kind of what you need to do, and like a better practice in the industry that we're in right now.
Yeah, there's no perfect answer, because like some days you're so busy talking to so many people, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to get off the phone because I just saw a perfect job popped up for someone I talked to yesterday. So that's when I instant message my recruiter assistant and say, even though I'm on the phone right now, I see a good job just came in, call so-and-so. Because I can't get off the phone. I don't want to be rude to the person I'm speaking to that I'm trying to teach about the industry. So but I'm all day long, I get text messages and I'm like, oh, good. So I got my first PTA back on assignment in like a year. It felt so good because I loved, when I got hired, I did nothing but place PTAs and quotas, OTs, SLPs. I was totally allied. That's all I did. And then PDPM came into the business and ruined a lot of things for a lot of people and dropped the bill rates and cut the amount. And then I started placing, a lot more school people and having to place RNs, which I love, but it's not my first love. I like allied. I'm an allied girl. I just love it. So now my allied people are remembering me and calling me. And, this lady, Sophia, called and she's like, Michelle, I saw a PTA job on the list, or somewhere, wherever she saw it. And I was able to put her back to work. It was my first PTA in over a year, and it felt so good.
Oh, that's good. I know when I first started working with you, and this was a long time ago, it was way before COVID, I remember you were specializing in OTA and PTA. Like that was your bread and butter, was finding them jobs. And it was great because there weren't a lot of recruiters that would kind of place OTAs and PTAs. And then when that went away, I had to be like, I'm sorry, I can't get you guys these jobs because they don't exist right now. So I'm excited for you that that's coming back, because I know that a lot of your travelers.
And I haven't had a time to research exactly why they're coming back. I don't know if it's COVID related. I don't know if the industry changed where the skilled nursing facilities are getting more money for them now. I don't know. I haven't had a lot of time to research why. I'm just glad it's happening. And PT's coming back, OT's coming back on the boards. And now supply and demand, I'm hoping that the bill rates are starting to go up because they need more of you guys now, because they really lowered them for a while, and now they're starting to creep back up. And especially the company that you were working for is a very generous, company in terms of the industry. And I see more companies like that coming back, which is great. But schools, we're in school season. I live, breathe, and die and eat schools right now for March, April, May, June. Like even when you're a recruiter in this industry, you don't get to go on vacation during summer because that's when you're placing your school people. And the schools love working with us because we're a local company, all our, California schools. We see them at all the career fairs, or at least before the world shut down. They know who we are. They know that we always return phone calls. They know we don't have voicemail. So we get a lot of orders, a lot.
Awesome. Yeah, I looked on the site last night and I was like, holy crap, she has so many school positions, so many OT and SLP jobs open. And like I said, they paid like crazy. They were almost all of them were over 2,000. Like there's like a lot of ones that were like 2175. And like, God, for 9 months. And I just think that just in general, like as a setting, I just think that I would love that. But anyway, I am not free to do that right now. I'm a little busy with the list. So Michelle, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me and letting us know, some insider info and just having this dialogue so we can kind of start to think about things differently and plan ahead. Guys, if Michelle was helpful to you, if it was helpful, this conversation, hit the like button, give us little hearts, and like I said, and share it. If there's any other groups that might find this helpful, SLP groups or travel healthcare groups that might find this helpful, then feel free to share this. I'll make sure it's public. And again, if you're interested in working with Michelle as your recruiter or talking to her and seeing what she has, just click on the link above this video and it'll take you to the list. You just have to log in really quickly and you'll be able to see all of her jobs and her contact information and see everything that's going on there. So thank you for watching. And Michelle, thank you so much for taking time to do this. This was so informative. I'm so glad we did this.
I'm glad I did it too. And I look forward to talking to anyone. And if you've never, ever done schools, we also have mentorship. Forgot to mention that. We will hook you up with an OT or SLP or someone that's been in a school district to help you. We do pay them, so you'll never like feel like you shouldn't reach out to them or ask for their help. But we do have a mentorship program. I have cheat sheets on how to interview for schools. I have CEUs you should take. So if you've never done schools, I forgot to mention we do have mentorship as well.
Oh, that's so helpful. All of that is so helpful. That would be really interesting too, to look into the CEUs to take before to get into schools. I know that some travelers have their own like programs or things they've put together, which I think is also a good resource, but even a list of CEUs, I mean, for people that are interested in starting in schools but don't have that experience yet. That's so helpful. Thank you for putting that together. That's so thoughtful. Thank you.
Thanks. I had help. I had help from one of my travelers named Michelle. She's been like golden and helped us for 6 years now, just because she's a nice human. And she likes to put those together. She likes to share. She's on our Pioneer Healthcare website where she said, I think it's something to the tune of a candle loses nothing, no light by helping light another candle. And she really feels like anybody that wants to be a school therapist, it's a great career. So she likes to help.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, very good. Well, thanks to her also. All right. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Everybody who watched, thank you. I hope it was helpful for you. And like I said, if it was helpful, give us some likes and some hearts and share it to anyone that might also benefit from it. So everybody have an awesome rest of your day and we will talk soon.
Bye.